man, that's the best I've swung in years.
Did you actually hit the ball?
Man, oh, I'll buy that. I'll buy that.
Look at that swing. Beautiful.
I'll take that one. I'll take that one. Interesting story. Our former senator, Bill Nelson, his uncle Charlie, together with Jim Pruitt, local realtor, put the acreage together. The Today newspaper, it wasn't the Florida Today then, it was the Today newspaper, gave the development, the PUD, planned unit development, lots of press, and it started out with just 9 holes and this clubhouse. I joined Suntree in 1975. I was 33 years old, and it had just opened.
It was 1975.
I was about 15.
No, you weren't.
The grand opening, July 4th, 1975, was on the driving range. It was an old-timey picnic, hot dogs, hamburgers, sack races, egg tosses.
And before you become a member, you had to buy a lot, or you had to have a house to live here. And so when we presented, it was Mr. Staub, Harold Staub, who was a general manager at that time. He checked us out and said, okay, you can be a member now.
It was a lovely place. It was very rural. Wickham Road had just been paved. It had gone from 1 lane to 2, and from dirt to paved. And the best golfers were the guys who had come over from Patrick Air Force Base, so retired Air Force guys. First club champion was Tom Lane, who was a retired Air Force guy, who was an air traffic controller in the Air Force, and then later became one at the Melbourne Airport. Heck of a golfer. Matter of fact, for many years, his grandson was the pro here, left a couple of years ago.
We joined here as preferred members July of 1978.
Now, I joined a few years earlier than Don, and I was on the first board of governors. Now, we were an advisory board. The developer controlled everything, but they wanted to give the impression that it was really like a country club. The developer did. So we had a board. My membership number was 001. There were, as I recall, 4 classes of members. Preferred, which was tennis and golf, tennis, and corporate. Corporate were the guys that were buying land and building the houses, okay? And the other 3 categories were the rest of us, members of the public.
We had the senior pro tour here. And I met a lot of the pros. Sam Snead was one of my favorites, and he was here playing. And he would not give signatures to anybody. No way. And I thought, you know, he's one of my favorite guys. So I had a book of his. And so I was waiting for him to come off of the driving range. He was going out to the first tee, and I said, Mr. Snead, would you please autograph my book? And he said, let me see. So I handed him the book. He looked at it. He said, what's your name? I said, it's Nancy. So he did. He said, to Nancy. And he wrote something. I can't even read what he wrote. But you can read Sam Snead. So I did get his autograph.
You know, our fondest memory, since you asked that question, was when the seniors were here.
Yeah. The seniors tournament was welcomed here at Suntree Country Club. And not only the members here, but the outside people could come in and they could watch those golfers play. I recall Arnold Palmer coming in from Orlando, landing his helicopter on the tee of #1 challenge when we started that.
And then we had on the PGA, we had all the golfers come into town. I got to see a lot of them, you know, Chichi Rodriguez. I got to see the old way golfers used to dress with the knickers that I had never seen before. So it was quite an experience. It was a lot of fun, it really was.
Having the senior tour, what is now the Champions Tour, stop at Suntree the first couple of years was very meaningful. I remember Arnold Palmer coming in on his helicopter. He and Ed Say designed the challenge course. And they would come in and land the helicopter on the first hole of what is now the challenge course. And Mr. Palmer was a wonderful man. He was very gracious, and he gave the place instant credibility.
So in about 1986, we had Fairfield Corporation bought the property here. Now, at that time, of course, Fairfield was the largest timeshare owner and builder in the U.S. One thing they wanted to do was build a timeshare right here where our new building is.
And a group of members, and I was not a part of that, but a group of members got together and they became alarmed because the developer was in talks with an organization that the membership did not want to see take over the club.
Well, Fairfield bought this, as I said, about 1986. In about 89 or 90, Fairfield Corporation declared bankruptcy. So we knew that something was going to happen to Suntree Country Club. And we were living pretty good here at Suntree Country Club.
Because the developers wanted to go ahead and sell the club, and they were talking to individual conglomerates that wanted to turn it into a housing development. They were just going to do away with the golf course. And so a lot of the people were quite upset over this. And so a lot of the men got together and they said, well, why don't we form a committee and why don't we try to buy the club ourselves?
Lou Martin, who was a B-26 pilot during World War II, they got very anxious to see about buying this club. Tom Beard, the manager for Fairfield, had been told, don't talk about selling this property to the members. So anyway, they wouldn't even give us office space to work out of. So Lou Martin rented a mobile home trailer for us and put it right down here at the south end of the parking lot. He started borrowing money from members, $200, remember, with no assurance that that money would be repaid. Then we got to needing more money for the lawyers and such, and he borrowed $2,000 from a certain number of members. Well, here again, we couldn't get their attention to do it.
But everybody was so set against having this turned into a housing development that they said, no, we can't permit that to happen. And I'm sure that other people told you about the ladies that would walk outside the clubhouse here out on Wickham Road with signs. And a lot of people were very, very dedicated to being sure that this stayed Suntree Country Club.
So they picketed out on Wickham Road.
Made sure they were off private property belonging to Fairfield Corporation. And these picket signs read, Fairfield is not fair. At the same time, we had a large number of members here who were residents to put signs in their windows and on their yard for sale. Within about 2 hours after we did this, there was a call come from Little Rock. Send your representatives out here.
Barnett then negotiated along with Fairfield and the members bought it in 1991. I think there were 751 members paid $10,000 apiece to start with.
Well, I only remember that Travis told me the members were afraid that things would change if a new company came in, and they liked the club the way it was. And so I think there were some people who had had legal experience who sort of guided, I can't remember names, guided this. And I remember we were in education, and the $10,000 that you had to pay to get in was a lot for us, but I believe there was an arrangement made with Barnett Bank And we went down and borrowed the money and we bought in.
And we were lucky, so we could afford, you know, the down payment or whatever to come in. We both had good jobs, and so we were one of the youngest ones to join.
Yeah, they called us the kids. Like, they don't do it anymore.
There was agreement was made that we would buy this club for $7 million. Another agreement was that if anybody didn't want to become a member here or donate money or contribute money to the buying this place, we had to keep them as members anyway. So they were to be called associate members. Lou Martin says, all right, I'm going to collect $10,000 each from 750 people. Well, he only had about 7 or 8 on his staff. And a couple of them says, well, let's limit it to residents only. Lou Martin says, no, we've only got about 5 weeks to get this money raised, and anybody that's wants to can join. Barnett Bank of Cocoa agreed to loan money to any individual who wanted to buy membership in Suntree Country Club. So it was good cooperation throughout.
$7.5 million. It paid off the developer, it paid off the loans, and then we had to pay off the remaining equity that was owed to the original members who had left, who had resigned. So the club was left, I want to say, with about $300,000, as I recall, to do capital improvements. And by then, the place was 16 years old, and it was starting to need some work.
So now, here we are, we own this place. So we got to come up, well, the first thing that happened was Paul Fretter, Bill Scapelhorn, and a lawyer worked about 3 days and nights drawing up the rules and regulations and the bylaws for our new club. So next we had to come up with a budget for the year. Well, we made a projection, say, of 900 and some odd golfing members, and we were about 45 short of that. And we were short of the tennis court. So from the first year, we were in trouble money-wise.
The biggest thing, the problem was that we had 750 members who paid $7.5 million, and we bought the club for $7 million, and we had $500,000 left over, and they thought because we have that in the kitty, they don't have to go out and advertise for new members. So for 5 years, we didn't add any new members.
So we realized we had to have an increase in dues comes 92, which we did.
And I'll never forget that. We had an insurance was coming due in November. And it was $185,000 just for the building. And we had $1,200 in the treasury. So I talked to everybody on the board, I discussed with the comptroller, and if we assessed everybody 1 month's dues, we'd have about $190,000. So I said, we're going to assess the club. Oh, you can't assess. And I read the bylaws. Yes, we could assess because this was operational budget and not a capital budget. So we assessed them. One person resigned. The rest of them paid their extra dues. We gave them 2 months to pay it. It's 1 month or 2 months at a time. We got the $185,000. We didn't have to borrow from the bank to go in debt.
And we go on like this till about 2007 or 8. And we elect a gentleman by the name of Ernie Galt as the president of this club.
And he, together with Steve LaMontagne, were very creative in putting together marketing programs. And for the last 6, 7 years, membership has steadily increased to where we're capped out now.
And I'd like to point out that even from way back, this club was just a bunch of friendly people. We all had big parties upstairs. Joe DePrima built that Magnolia room, and we would have parties up there, and it was very much a family affair here.
We were actually met because of the golf course, then we decided since that took place, we should get married on the golf course. We asked Tom Beard he was the president of Fairfield, and he first of all was not happy about doing that. But he did concede and said, as long as Sharon doesn't wear high heels on the green, we'll let it happen. He actually was at the wedding, and so it was good. We had music coming in from the clubhouse all the way to the green, and that's where the wedding took place.
This is paradise here. I mean, every day you wake up, you put your feet on the ground, and you thank God that you have this place to live.
And we're proud to be members. My mom and dad, it was their life, and everything they did in life was 110%. And when my dad was in the military and when he was a home builder, he needed something where he can embrace and give it all, and this place allowed him to just do that. And by God, he got a name and a reputation here in Suntree, and it's just been a blessing.
What we look forward to more than anything else, especially in the golf, because that's all we do, is the friendship. You know, we belong to a group. I'm in the group, but we don't play together. Saves marriages.
It's very popular now. It really is. And of course, with all the improvements that we've made, it's hard to beat it. It really is. I don't know of any other country club here in Brevard County that even comes close to what we have. We're two nice, beautiful 18-hole golf courses, the Classic and the Challenge, and we can hold outside tournaments, and it's just really fabulous. It really is. It's been such a pleasure just to see all the changes that have been made from the very beginning.
But this has been a great place to grow up, to grow old, raise a family, and I'm grateful for it. You take good care of yourself, because I want to go to that 100.
Absolutely.
Thank you all very much.
All right, thank you very much. Good deal.